You can stream on Patreon now, can't you?
What?
I'm pretty sure you can. Patreon has video hosting and streaming now, so you can just like stream on straight to Patreon. So if you want to do a fucking cock and ball out on center stream, like go for it.
How much money would it be worth to us to do a naked stream? How much would what's my price?
I'd pay like at least $50 to sit on that. And you got to have text to speech so I can donate and comment on the looks of
nice
the cocks.
Nice balls.
Nice balls.
Nice balls.
Oh my goodness.
So is getting your cock out just an Aussie pastime?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Because Joe, when have you got your cock out? I have never
Many
heard
times.
any. What do you mean many
No,
times, Joe?
Wait, you guys were just saying in the bathroom before seeing each other's balls.
That's an onsen. That's different. Because
That's still getting your fucking cock and balls out in front of your friends.
There's a massive difference between getting your balls out in a McDonald's and getting your balls out in a place where you are supposed to get your balls out.
I think as well there might be like a Japanese thing to it as well, because like again, because we have that like whole onsen culture, right?
Yeah.
So we're already not afraid to like see each other naked.
That's a deadly combo.
It is a deadly combo. So it's like I have the Aussie-ness of not giving a fuck about people seeing my balls, and I have the Japanese side of just getting used to seeing each other.
I think when I stopped caring, it was the same thing where I had to get my cock and balls out in front of everyone for an extended period of time. I was in LA and we went to a Japanese spa. It's called Boiis Spa.
Right.
But it's, you gotta be naked
Sports.
for it. Wii Sports. And all the boys, I don't know if you remember Greek God X, a bunch of like old streamers.
Yeah.
We were all there and we all got our fucking cocks out. And I was just like, this is normal now. Balls and cock are just...
After a while, you just like
Disconnect.
don't care.
You disconnect,
It's just like,
yeah.
oh, yep.
I'd
there's-
laugh if it wasn't actually like a mandatory thing. You just like turn up and you just go. You're the only ones with your cock and balls out.
Right, now we got
Like,
two deep.
You walk into the establishment already with your cock and balls out. It's just like, what, guys? Where are your cock and balls?
This isn't normal. You should be naked.
Why are you wearing pants?
You said you've been to Japan many times before.
Yeah, I used to go once a year. I try to, because I had friends in Korea who were in the military, people I met online.
Right.
I don't know if you
Like
guys have
MMO
ever...
friends or?
Yeah, MMO friends. I don't know if you guys ever went to Korea. I can't remember, on the hill where all the army guys stay. But if you're in the army in Korea, if you're an American, they're all American. If you're based in Korea, you get like 3-bedroom houses. To stay. It's like so nice. So I'd always go there and be like, can I stay in one of your spare rooms for like a week? So I'd go like Japan, Korea, and then fly home, maybe stop somewhere else on the way. So I used to every year, but I haven't done it since COVID. I miss Japan.
You said you just got like slept on a train once and just woke up in a random town.
Yeah, well, I mean, you get the train passes.
Yeah.
JR passes.
Yeah, JR passes, and you should fucking... I was in an Airbnb and it's like ended because I'd always just travel with like a backpack and a really small suitcase.
Right.
So I hopped on one of the trains one day and I fell asleep. Not on purpose, I just fell asleep. And I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm here now. And I messaged one of my friends and I said, what's there to do here? And he was like, well, you're like an hour bus ride from a really cool village with nice scenes. I was like, all right, go there. And then I'm there. I'm like, what the fuck's there to do here? And it's like,
Dude, do you remember whereabouts you were? Or?
I was really, really far west because up the top it snows, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was really far down west near like fishing villages. So I went to I went to one of the fishing villages and I was like, what do I do now?
That's every village in
And
Japan.
I was like, what do I do now? And he's like, people just go there.
Fish.
Yeah, just go there and
Start
fish.
fishing.
So there's got a bunch of local guys there and they like, you just walk up to them. He's like, yeah, just fucking translate this to them. They'll give you a fishing rod for some money. I went there and fished and that's all I did for like
Lived
2 or
your
3
best
hours. I
life.
just sat there and drank out of vending machines and fished. Right.
That sounds awesome.
It was actually really great.
Yeah.
And I caught a bunch of what are the little? They look like giant sardines. What are they called?
Trouts.
Trouts. That's it. Trouts. I caught a bunch of trouts, and I was like, oh, I don't know how to fucking I don't know where a kitchen is here. Do I light a fire and cook it?
Yeah.
And there was
Japan, bro. You
there
eat
was,
them
like,
raw.
There was like 2 Japanese guys that were a bit younger than they're like teenagers that live there, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think they were just fucking. Like they just sat there and drank all day too and listened to music and they're like, oh, you come back to our fucking place and we'll cook. And they're just like outdoor kitchen. I ate with them and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, no,
That
it was
sounds
great.
so dope.
But I didn't know how to ask them if I could stay there for the night, so I ended up sleeping at a bus stop that night after they fed me.
Oh my god.
And then I was like, you know who Jake and Baker's, right?
Yeah.
He was the one like giving me directions. I was like, can you translate this? I was just messaging him on the phone. Like, can you translate this for me, please? Like and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good, and yeah, I haven't
was it
been-
like river fishing or like sea fishing?
it was river fishing. one time was river fishing, and one time was like it was salt water, but it was like just before the ocean.
Bro, you got like a more legit fishing experience than we did because we just had like a company outing where we all went fishing, and it was like river fishing. So I was like hyped because I've been sea fishing before, like on a boat, and it's just it is not a good experience.
It's brutal, yeah.
It's
You
so
don't like
brutal.
fishing on the boat?
Because like it's just so much more intense. Like to me, fishing is just like putting the rod out,
You want the
having a
serenity
chill,
of it all.
yeah, having a chill beer and just like chilling out, relaxing with the boys. But in sea fishing, it's actually like gameplay. You know, you like actively have to like put the chum in the bait and then just like
And then the
chuck it
whole
in.
boat smells like rotting fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was the only time I've like been seasick in my life. So we go like river fishing with the company, and we're like, great, we can go to a river, chill with the boys. And then, so they take us to the river, right? And they're like, okay, you can start fishing in about 15 minutes. And we're like, why do we have to wait 15 minutes? And they get like a bucket out. They start chucking fish into the river.
To attract more fish.
No. As like the fish that
But you're gonna catch.
The river was empty.
What's the fucking point?
And they were just like, game starts. And they just start chucking fish into the river. They're like, all right, go catch them.
Oh, now I feel blessed as fuck because that
Yeah.
sounds like shit.
You actually got like the proper experience.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was more of a stroke of luck. Like,
Yeah.
I fell asleep on a god. Because the one thing I love about Japan is I know I'm not going to get killed or robbed. I've met people that are Yakuza before,
Yeah.
and they're fucking someone nice. I got robbed by one, but that's another thing. They're mostly nice. When we were in Shibuya, we went up a fucking rogue elevator, blackout drunk.
Yeah,
So I was like,
yeah.
empty your wallet. And I was like, he had tattoos. I'm like, I'm not gonna gamble here. I'm just gonna give him my fucking money.
yeah.
Wait, he was just like, give me your money.
Yeah, he just said, give you money. I was like, I'm not taking this.
Why did
gamble.
you preface this story by saying, I know I'm not going to get robbed?
Yeah. And then
except I
immediately
did,
gets
alright.
robbed.
I mean, yeah,
Wait,
that's different.
actually,
That's
I
different.
don't think that counts as robbery. He just asked you for your money.
Yeah,
Politely,
yeah.
he was like,
Yeah.
please, sir, can I
That's
have
just
some of your
that's just the
money?
transaction.
Yeah,
Like,
but I met some other Yakuza members and they were like really nice and they were like tatted up guys. Like they were just crazy, and that was nice. But I know that no matter where I go, I can find my way home because I got Google Maps on my phone. I know that wherever I go, I'll find a way to eat and sleep and drink.
yeah.
Because it just comes out of a fucking vending machine most of the time, or a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just feel safe there. So when I'm there, I like to just
Wander
essentially
around.
just
I
fucking.
think the crimes
Flip
there
it.
are either like absolutely nothing at all or like the most horrific shit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
either
That could
0
be
or
possible.
100. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
like,
sure.
there's
But
so
that's
many
obviously
fucked up crimes that happens in Japan, but most of the time, it's
Yeah.
like
most
very,
of the time
very
the police
chill.
have nothing to do. And they're
Yeah,
just
then
like,
you hear about this one murder where like
It's like, oh, a cat has disappeared, and then the next day it's like a dude jumps in a truck and runs over 17 people. It's like, whoa, all right, chill.
I always find it weird how in all the local municipalities they have the accident sign and death sign.
Oh,
So they
yeah.
count the deaths in each area every day.
Like road deaths, right? Yeah.
Not just road deaths, not just general deaths
Oh,
in
is
the
it?
area.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of morbid.
it's kind of badass.
Imagine you're walking down like central London, like we've had 15 deaths today, and you're like, great, thanks, I guess.
yeah, it's funny as well because sometimes you go to tourist areas and especially in like Kyoto, you see some like weird signs of things that you shouldn't do, which is depressing because that means someone has done it. So you go to like a car park and there'll be literally signs that says, "Please do not shit." Like just please,
Kyoto,
just
I
please
remember
don't
this.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went to Hakone the other day and I saw like the weirdest one where we were in the toilet and there was a sign saying, "Please do not like fish." There was a guy with a fishing rod. There was a guy with a fishing rod on the toilet, and just the sign says no. And I was just like, this is depressing because that means someone's actually tried and done that.
Like,
I just want to know.
I'm trying to figure out.
I just want to know what happened, what the backstory of this was.
Well, there is.
I want to
no,
be
there's
the
no
reason
signs.
one of those signs is up.
It's probably
now.
you. It's
Yeah,
probably
you're probably the
I'm
reason why most
tempted
of them
now.
are
There's
up.
no sign saying you can't whip your dick out. So
I feel like I would get thrown in jail for a couple nights if I did that in Japan. Would I? No, actually, no, I wouldn't.
What?
Would I? Get your cock out. I've seen a naked person in Japan.
I mean,
You can get
there's public
you could definitely
indecency
get arrested.
laws.
For
Is
it.
there?
Yeah.
You could be held for like 24 days.
Jake took me to like a sex street.
Okay.
And it was a bunch of African dudes as security guards that like harassed you. He took me to a blowjob bar. I went and got a blowjob at one of the blowjob bars. And that was also the same night I got
the red
robbed.
light district. in
Yeah, red light
Shinjuku,
district. And that was the same night we got robbed because I was blackout drunk. I'm like, let's just fucking try this place. And we get in the elevator and he's like, please give me your money. I was like, okay.
I think it's Kabukicho. Yeah.
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 You went to a blowjob bar?
Yeah, it was really funny. $80, 30 minutes.
Was it good?
It wasn't the best I've had, but like, it was alright.
What exactly is the setup?
The setup is like this. It's like leather couches for one person, and you sit back to back with another guy on a leather couch on the other side.
Okay.
So it's like a big
So you
room
can
with
make
the
small talk
couches.
with the
Yeah, it's like,
other
oh, you
customer.
know,
And she just sucks your dick in front of you, like here. And there's maybe a guy. It was pretty empty that night.
That's
so there wasn't
so
a guy behind me.
nasty.
There was a guy over that side.
That's so nasty.
You know, $80, 30 minutes. I finished in 3 minutes.
small talk for 27.
Yeah, she couldn't speak English. I had a cigarette. I was after a tip. I was on my way. I did it more because Jake was like to me, you won't fucking do it. And I was like, I'll go in there and do it. I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
think you forget my username.
This was the
Yeah.
when I first started seeing stuff from you, the one thing I was kind of shocked by was how open you were about prostitution and how you partaked in it.
Well, it's legal here.
No, I know it's legal.
I'm
Yeah.
so desensitized to the idea
Right,
because
right.
it's so like legitimized here, and it's expensive, and there's like testing, and it's all like set
Yeah.
up properly, and like I'm not against it. I'm totally not against it, and then so I'm like, well, if I'm not against it, why not try it? And I did. I have dabbled.
What do you? Okay, so there's probably some people watching this who are probably like, "Oh my god, that's so gross." Like, what would you say to those kind of people who think?
Grow up there? Like these people
These are working
get
class
paid good money
ladies.
here.
Yeah,
They do regular testing.
yeah. I think Japan would definitely benefit because they have so much sex work.
Yeah,
It would-
exactly.
it would-
And it's so legitimized here, and it's just like you meet this person, and some of the girls that I've paid to sleep with, it's like $600 an hour, and I'm like, oh, you drive a fucking $150,000 car, I can see why, because if you just have, and they're doing regular meetings, and some girls I met were telling me like, oh, I have a regular, I don't even have sex with him. Some 6-year-old guy just pays me to come to his house for 5 hours a week, and like rub his back and talk to him. Because people are just,
well, because people are lonely. Right?
Yeah,
They just
people
want
are
to
lonely.
see
It's
more
just
than
like
that.
sugar daddies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just like, and then she's like, on the side, I'll get casual clients, and they're like real picky. If you walk in there and they don't like the look of you, they'll be like, I ain't serving this guy.
Damn.
Like, like I've walked in there before with like,
from experience.
no, it's thankfully never happened to me because I've never walked into a place like drunk or something like that.
Yeah.
But I've definitely like met some friends, had the same conversation we're having here. Like, yeah, I've been with some like sex workers, and like, oh, you've convinced me. I'd love to try it. I'm like, you've had too much to drink. Like, no, you have to tell me. I'm like, I'm gonna take you there. They're gonna realize you've had drinks, and then they're not gonna, because they don't
Right.
serve people like that. They're like, it's not like a disgusting place. It's like you've had too much to drink.
I guess when you can make good money from it, you can also afford to be picky about it.
Yeah,
You can-
there are places that I've been to, and it's like, oh, you got a 3-hour wait for a go. Like, you want to put your name down and wait? Like,
Well, there's,
Like
I know there's some
list for a
places,
Rolex or something.
I know there's some places where it's like you can't even like go in on the date. Like you have to like book like
Yeah.
days or like even weeks in advance.
do, yeah.
Just to be like, I want to see that girl. And
yeah,
it's
that's just
like
the girl. She's booked out because literally some people book the girls for days. Like, rich people will just be like, hey, I want this girl at my house for 2 days. I know it sounds crazy because you never think in your head. Because I know maybe if I was really rich, but I know I'd never pay to thousands of dollars to have a girl give me attention for a few days.
Yeah.
But there are people out there that are like, I'm rich, I'm single, or I'm divorced.
It's
I don't-
also just like
well-
fetishes for everything possible now.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people like being what is it, financially cucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's legit
Yeah.
like
Well,
for
I-
every possible thing.
I don't know. One of my arguments is the economy is fucked, and I have paid upwards of $600 for a date. So why not just
You're
pay?
a true hero. You're a true- the housing crisis is solved.
not all heroes wear capes.
with one goal in mind, sex, and I'm just like, and it's not guaranteed. So why would I pay for this expensive date when I can pay for this?
I mean, I think it's like just an uncomfortable conversation for a lot of people where they don't
Yeah.
they don't like talking about it because they don't like the idea of somebody paying for it and they'd rather just be all secret and run terribly and run by gangs and stuff.
Yeah.
But it makes way more sense to have it more regulated and done safely and all above board.
it's so well done in this like country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I can tell you a million stories about like situations I've had that have been so professional with them. And
Too many stories, some might
But
say.
like, yeah,
Okay,
but like
okay,
on
okay.
both ends of the spectrum, I can get laid without it. But sometimes I'm a bit fucking lazy, and I do have disposable income. So
Just pay to win.
Pay to win. Yeah. it's exactly it.
Why would I do a free-to-play game when I can pay to win?
Yeah, you tell me about your CSGO skins and shit. I'm telling you about my like CSGO pussies.
Yeah,
my
well, I mean,
God.
I think the thing about Japan is that we have like girls bars and host bars as well, where people are interested in not just paying for like a service, but just paying for like company and just having someone to feel like.
Or people are just lonely. They're just
people
so
are just lonely in
Japan.
there. And like talking about like fetishes, there's like a fetish for every bar under the sun that you can think of in Japan. So it's something that people like don't really talk about, but obviously there's a lot of interest in
It's
that.
because Japan is obviously so. It's got obviously both ends of that spectrum where it's so
very
frowned
conservative,
upon.
yeah.
For like certain stuff. So then that sort of stuff builds under the surface and shows itself
repression, right?
in
When you
so
get
many
repressed
different ways.
and,
Yeah, exactly.
Sexually.
Also, isn't the culture there like working 7 days a week as well? So like, when do you ever have time to actively look for someone to date? Like, no, you're gonna find time off and you're gonna go spend at those bars.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
exactly.
sure.
Unless it's some like family
there is
arranged relationship where they've introduced
Or like
you
you
to a
start dating someone at your workplace.
Yeah.
It-
and that
it's,
never ends
there's
well.
no shortage of those types of establishments in Japan. Like even in places where they would be like pretty like I guess like family friendly or whatever, they'll just be there like massive signs saying whatever you can get it. It is kind of crazy how it is illegal, but it's still so easy to find.
Yeah.
Like it is
Yeah.
not at all
Strange.
like difficult
It's
to
very
get or
strange.
find. And you just think, well, why don't they just regulate this? Like, but I guess also.
I think the reason why
No
they
way.
don't regulate it is because they don't want to even admit that it's
Yeah,
there in the
it's-
first
Yeah,
place.
it's easy to sweep it under the rug,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're sweeping it under the rug to the point where it's become this like comical, large mounted fucking thing that everyone can
Well,
see.
Yeah,
I went
But
to
it's
a,
still like, let's pretend that's not.
There's
Yeah.
this pub I went to in Yokohama, and literally opposite it is this giant flashing neon sign, and it's literally just right next to the train station, just saying like 30 minutes, 50,000, and it's like this is
That's
like
what I
almost
paid. That's
Is that Monty's?
yeah.
I know what you're
It's
talking
almost
about.
a joke, like
On the
how-
other side of the river, right?
Yeah, it's almost a joke how comical this is, like considering it's illegal, and it's
Yeah.
like. They've got the brightest sign in all of Tokyo, like just there. Like it's so fucking.
Well, I mean,
like,
pachinko
obvious.
parlors are the exact same thing, right?
Yeah,
Where it's like,
yeah.
it's supposed to be a loop around for the whole like anti-gambling laws that they have there, but they're also the brightest, biggest fucking
What's the thing
buildings in
with
existence.
that? You take the thing to the gold next door or
You
something?
Yeah,
win balls.
so-
the
Yeah.
balls aren't worth anything in that store, but
you take it to
funny enough,
another
there's another store that'll
company-
buy
yeah,
the balls for
right.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you hit like a mega jackpot on one of those?
No, it wasn't pachinko. It was like just
But it was one of those ball games, wasn't it?
There's a million fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever cash in those? Do you know how much these points were worth?
No, that's probably nothing.
But also, like gambling's illegal. But,
But
then
the-
horse betting and boat betting is also legal. So it's also
When-
really weird.
When I was there, I would win stuff even in the claw games, which is essentially still gambling.
Yeah.
And I'd get my
Yeah.
prize, and they'd say, "Can we buy it back off you?" I was like, "You can just give me money for the toy? Yeah, go to this store down the road.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
take it in your bag, this store down the road will buy it."
Yeah,
off
it's
you."
it's the loophole around it is I think the law is that like one
Claws are considered skill
establishment
games, I think.
yeah, one establishment isn't allowed to do the whole entire transaction in the
Right.
one building. So the loophole is that they just separate it into two different
Yeah.
establishments.
I think at one point it was literally a different floor. Like, oh, go at one floor,
Yeah.
and you can sell your prizes.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, well,
okay.
some people are pretty good at them. Just spend all day playing.
Are claws
them
actually
and so
skill
on.
games, Connor?
They are. I've done so many videos doing it,
Yeah.
and like sometimes I would look at a machine and I'd be like, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to lose money 100% on this one. But other ones, I'm like, okay, this is very achievable.
I remember
Depends on how you do it.
going to staff would always come up and show me how to
Yeah,
do it,
and you can-
And it's like,
You can ask for help immediately. Like obviously,
yeah, it's
there's
so
like,
it's such a different
you
thing
get back to the
compared
West
to
where
yeah.
it's like I'm trying to get
you.
this plushie and I put 50, 100 fucking
The
dollars
dude's
in.
like, yeah, I fucking switched the thing inside that doesn't let you win until you've had 99 shots of it.
All
Well,
the
yeah, like
screws
it
are
works
loose.
on like a faith system, right? So you could easily play. You wouldn't even theoretically. You could just not touch it, and you could just stand at it, and then just be like, "Excuse me," and they'll come over and help you
Yeah.
because they just trust you that you've been playing it and that you
Right,
need help.
yeah.
Obviously, if it's stuck in a corner, they'll be like, "Oh, okay, I can see that you've moved it and it's fucked. So let me fix it." But
Okay, they would not do that here. They would tell you to go fuck.
no, in the
yourself.
UK as well, they'd be
Yeah.
like, "What? Get out!
That sounds like a you problem.
Go to Weatherspoons."
Oh, that sounds good.